naka def
yow foo jógee
mbaa def la suma tool balaa wari woon
man de man fa tehi man
yaa ngi toog di daa dégg son
man fa tehi di man suma tool bi fa booy baaxatul
xanaa doo dee use engrais fertilizer
man loolu yow wuti ko fa tehi dem ca dépôt ba dafa wuti fa sori
gis nga mbayum léegi boo amul fertilizer du baax de engrais kenn jëndeetu ko ci def
boo ko jëlee ci dépôt foo koy xamee
kay yaa ngi doog a ñëw xam nga Reliance banque bi ñuy wax Reliance
faa koy dégg waaw
kay gis nga boo demee Reliance ci boppam foofu ngay fayee saako yi nga bëgg nu mu toll nga fay ba pare ñu jox la sa receipt gis nga receipt boobu ñu lay jox moom ngay yóbbu nag ca dépôt ba
kon fu ne ko dem ci dépôt ba te yóbbu la kay doo ko am
déedéet
fu ne su ma jógoone su ma xaalis dem ci dépôt ba duma am
déedéet doo am foog nga dem Reliance fay ba pare
waaw
soo ko dem nag ak sa receipt ca dépôt ba waa Gambia Granite Corporation lii la ñu wax
yow fi ne fa nga jëm ni la
waaw fa laay dem bi
xaaral kon kay ni jàmm jox la nga jëndaa leen ma ay yow ma de fi di saako doon yàgg te duma ko xam
maa la ko wax de
boo xàggee jëndaa leen ma
mbokk yi nii lañ ko bëggee waa Gambia Granite Corporation ñu ne saako engrais $700 dong lay jar muy juróom-ñaar téeméeri dalasi rek yomb na lool daw leen Reliance bu leen gën a jege si PMS tam dañuy jaay comme ni ko Reliance di jaayee boo fa demee dinañ la jaay te engrais bii pour réew mi kese la bëgguñ mu génn réew mi.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm welcome here in our studio in Sarakunda. This is Star TV News with me, Dado Cham. In the headlines tonight, outgoing UK diplomat optimistic about Gambia's future. 2 returnees, one from the United States and one from Senegal, tested positive for COVID-19. More than 2,000 face masks have been donated to the Gambia's government. COVID-19 negatively affects businesses at the Amdalai border. On the international scene, King of Belgium expresses regrets from the colonial cruelty in Congo. Sudan protesters return to streets to demand more reforms. Macron says new tactics shift the dynamic in Sahel's fight. Those are the headlines, and now the news in details. The outgoing British High Commissioner to the Gambia, Sarah Dwaldon, has said that she is optimistic about the futures of the Gambia during a courtesy call on His Excellency President Adama Barrow at the State House, marking the end of his diplomatic tour of duty in the Gambia. Modo files in this report.
It is obviously a sad moment for me. My departure from the Gambia at the end of my 3-year tour of duty was expected, but I didn't expect it to come around quite so quickly, and for it to be happening at a time when the country and indeed the globe is facing the unprecedented challenge of COVID-19. Sadly for me, that has meant I've not had the opportunity to say thank you and goodbye in person to my many, many Gambian friends from government and civil society and the wider population.
High Commissioner Wadduld arrived in the Gambia in 2017 when the country began the search for new solutions to its past governance, human rights and economic challenges. This week, she will leave for London after completing her tour of duty in Banjul. Her departure will happen in a time when the country and the world are facing unprecedented challenges of COVID-19. Nonetheless, she described her departure as a sad moment for her after feeling home in the Gambia over the past years.
I genuinely feel that the foundations are being laid for a more prosperous, more secure future for the Gambia. The journey's not yet done, the transition journey's not yet done, and whilst we recognise that at the moment we're all grappling with the immediate challenges of COVID-19, I think the next 12 to 18 months are also going to be crucial for the Gambia, and we will continue to be unflinching in our support for that transition journey.
The UK funded several components of the government's National Development Plan 2018 to 2021, including strengthening the National Assembly, the judiciary support to the Ministry of Justice on transitional justice programs, the environment and many other areas of bilateral support. The two countries share a long history. The UK had been a strong bilateral friend of the Gambia in the First Republic until 1994, when relations weakened due to the infamous military coup. However, President Barrow's government was readmitted into the Commonwealth with a visit to London and a meeting with the Queen of England. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Maimuna Juf.
2 new cases have been registered, bringing the total number of COVID-19 cases ever confirmed in the country to 49 and 20 active cases and 6 probable cases, reveals the Health Ministry on Tuesday. According to the Health Ministry, cases of 48 is a deportee from the U.S. who entered the country on the 17th of June. Case 49 came in on the 27th through the Amdalai border post after having spent a month in Senegal. Modu Baji reports.
According to the Ministry of Health, case 48 and 49 are both male Gambians of 57 and 25 years of age respectively, while case 48 is a deportee from US who entered the country on the 17th June. Case 49 came in on the 27th June through one of the Amdalai border posts after having spent a month in Senegal. The ministry went on to reveal that one recovery case has been registered after she produced 2 consecutive negative test results, while 67 laboratory test results were received. 12 are repeat test results and 55 are results of samples taken from new people. Of these, 59 are negative, 6 positive and 4 repeated test results of existing cases, and 2 conclusive or probable cases. According to the ministry, 15 people were newly taken into quarantine. 21 new people have been discharged after testing negative of COVID-19. Upon completion of the mandatory quarantine period and of the newly quarantined, 3 came by a WFP chartered humanitarian flight. 5 are members of the economic forces who recently returned to the country, and 1 is a contact of one of the recently confirmed cases. The country currently has 358 people under quarantine, 20 active cases and 6 probable cases. The Health Ministry also outlined some of the challenges they face, which includes overcrowding at some video clubs with the recommendation of European football leagues. Cost both by government at designated quarantine facilities is prohibitive and may be unsustainable. Delay in getting a functional e-surveillance system that will ensure that availability of real-time response data. Inadequate border patrol, especially in undesignated borders around Jimara, Kantora, Tumana, Wuli East, Wuli West, and Sandu district. Truck drivers carrying essential commodities are being allowed to enter the country from locations with ongoing community transmission of COVID-19, and people smuggling schemes common at 3 points of entry through the use of motorcycles, donkey carts, horse carts, and by foot. Reporting for Star TV, I am Modu El Baji.
A Gambian businessman residing in Senegal has donated 2,900 locally made face masks to the Gambian government. Other masks were received at the Amdalai border post. The initiative is to help combat the COVID-19 in the country. Binta Colley reports.
Since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the Gambia in March, many Gambian businessmen, philanthropists, government-owned enterprises and private individuals have rendered assistance to Gambians by providing them with self-protective gears in order to protect themselves from the deadly virus. This time around, it came from a Gambian businessman by the name Basiru Cisse, who resides in Senegal. Speaking at the presentation ceremony, Boubacar Loba said that Basiru is a good Gambian citizen who has always given aid to Senegalese government and eventually deemed it necessary to come to the aid of his own beloved country. He added that it has nothing to do with politics, even though President Adama Barrow's picture is clearly portrayed on the mask with a written that says, "This is the time that we must all come together as a nation and put the interests of the country first above politics."
Yes, this is the VIP. He want us to give it to the president of this and then use it, but nothing to do. He want his own country to know what he did in Senegal, because he's a good son of the Gambia.
Mr. Lowa advised the people of Gambia to imitate the good gesture of Basiru and follow all preventive measures, as that will help prevent the spread of the deadly virus. Suleiman Sawane, Deputy Manager of Custom, who received the item, said that he is pleased with the good gesture from a good Gambian. He also wants the tailors in the Gambia to follow in the footsteps of the donor.
The gesture is very good, and on behalf of the government of the Gambia and the Gambian people who are going to benefit from this magnanimous gesture, we say to Mr. Cisse, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and we are also calling on other Gambians, especially tailors of his caliber, to definitely follow suit. This is a very good gesture, and we hope those who are going to benefit from this will definitely appreciate the good gesture.
He shed light on the rumor that people are still sneaking into the country even though the border is closed at the moment.
Having been at the border even for 5-10 minutes, you can attest to the fact that the border is completely closed. Whoever knows Amdalai, whoever used to frequent this road will know that within 5 minutes stand at Amdalai border, the crisscrossing at the border, the high traffic that we will see, and what is happening today is completely different. The border is completely closed, and as everyone knows, Gambia is about 95% surrounded by Senegal by land. And in as much as we are controlling the borders, we are not capable of 100% controlling the entire boundary of the Gambian and Senegalese borders. So there are maybe instances when people will sneak in from Senegal to the Gambia, which is definitely beyond our control. But even with such things, between here and Bara, if you traveling back, you will observe that there are about 4 to 5 checkpoints where people will be examined, and then documents will be produced. And instead, from time to time, people are apprehended, and then they are brought here, like Senegalese who will find their way without passing through the borders.
Sheriff Jadama said that Basiru is a good and dedicated Gambian who has Gambia at heart and is also a young person who has positive impacts in the life of many. The government of the Gambia has put many measures in place to prevent the spread of coronavirus, among which are the closure of schools, mosques, churches, markets, and even the downsizing in the number of individuals a particular vehicle should carry. Even though some of those measures are eased, the virus keeps spreading in the country. For Star TV News, I am Binta Colley.
Businessmen at the Amdalai border expressed his worries as sales have slowed down due to the border closure in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our reporter Mariama then was at the Amdalai border to find out the challenges businesses have faced due to the COVID-19, and this is her report.
His Excellency President Adama Barrow approved the border closure between the Gambia and Senegal in March 2020. The decision of the border closure was taken considering the rapid spread of COVID-19 in the world and in our region, as well as the continuous movement of people posing high risks of contracting the disease. Businessmen have raised concerns on the negative effects of the border closure as their businesses are mainly affected. Abdoulaye Jallo, a shopkeeper at the Amdalai border, highlighted the challenges he is facing due to the border closure, and it has really affected his business because they are not making sales at all, and some of his goods get spoiled at times or even get expired, which results to huge losses. Another shopkeeper, Abubakar, also made similar remarks and said that the border used to be busy, but due to the closure, they are not receiving customers and sales have slowed down badly. Mariama Dem, reporting for Star TV News.
We will be back after this commercial break.
Mbedo ko walande bar fenkil nañ jaxal jang nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi ko jaxal dafa malo mekel ñaadi le
ne jambando soto angare ñing ne o soto yake jang ila soto fe ngo fam be yiru wara
ye jambando ha woto alhamdulillah sa jambando mo soto la ñaadi le
sañi moli abula le kata fan kata depo ñinto hani ni futata je depo to sañi buka wafi de ka kodo ta mo bulu ka boto di la wo bo sañi wo botale sañi mimbe kering wolem ñinti ko reliance ibita wolto ye kodo jo ne kodo jo reliance ka risitol dia risito ñi ngaku matal de wo risito ñi ni adila e ka wole samba depo ñintu ne risito di yela jambando soto
comme ngi yek mo fu ñami ngamoyle nim fana bodo jang ko denke mbira jambando sanna
GGC wole Gambia Groundnut Corporation wolle be marare ñing jambando la kola andu ila ñin jang ngalo ne ñin jambando ni yake jang ifam ba fa la ñela
tumando bar be jambando ko yel fana nga jibe nim bodo ya mbita wolto mbita sekro direct nim tara ye rek be jambando sanna oto mbaɗigol ñiwode ñul nadara kana mol dahandi GGC ka jambando data lamole fo dalasi ceme worwula he ñomo alten to baldi mbati woto nimboru bayta ngata na jambando la ko do jo woto jang san sa mbe wutule ngata fo reliance nganna jambando la ko do joje to ngana risito ta ngata depo walla ngaji be CPMS katu ñundu la fulol de min suriyata na rek nin tara nga joje benna jambando sotla al nimbara bak ala baraka. Hey, alhamdulillah. Nyomo ala tan Dubai. Moro nyina metu abde no sanal.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jeja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulanding. We are also producers of Jeja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
And now the news beyond our borders. King Philippe of Belgium has, for the first time in the country history, expressed what he terms as deepest regrets for Belgium's colonial rules over the Congo. He acknowledged that acts of violence and cruelty were committed and that the wounds are still felt in what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. His message was sent to President Flex on the 60th anniversary of independence. Al Jazeera Nadim Ababa reports.
But for COVID-19, Belgium's King Philippe would be in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He's apologised he can't be in the capital Kinshasa, where they're marking the 60th anniversary of independence. And he's become the first reigning Belgian monarch to express regret for the country's colonial past. In a letter to Félix Tshisekedi, the president of the DRC, King Philippe conveys his deepest regrets for the acts of violence and cruelty and the suffering and humiliation inflicted on Congo. There was no apology from him or from Belgium's Prime Minister, Sophie Wilmès, seen here in Brussels unveiling a plaque commemorating the DRC's 60th anniversary. Wilmès stressed the importance of recognising the suffering caused by colonialism.
La Belgique partage avec le Congo Belgium shares a common history with Congo. In 2020, we must be able to look with lucidity and discernment at this shared past, a past marked by inequality and violence towards the Congolese.
King Leopold II, an ancestor of Belgium's current king, ruled over parts of Congo from 1885 to 1908. With a private army, he secured vast personal wealth, enslaving the population and exploiting their rich natural resources. Experts believe he was responsible for the deaths of 10 million Congolese people. His reign was eventually judged so cruel by fellow European leaders that he handed over the vast territory to the Belgian state, which ruled it as a colony until 1960. One legacy of that rule is the thousands of people who suffered like these 5 women did. Known as métis or biracial, they were kidnapped between 1945 and 1950 when they were very young and placed in Catholic institutions. They've now filed a lawsuit for crimes against humanity targeting the Belgian state.
There is no consideration, there is nothing. We were dumped like that. After they broke in our entire life, we had no childhood. There is nothing. What do we have to give to our children?
Another legacy is a campaign for Belgium to fully confront its past atrocities. As anti-racism protests spread worldwide recently, statues of figures including Leopold II were toppled or splashed with red paint. This one in Ghent is one of just a few that have been removed officially, but campaigners say a long overdue reckoning is underway.
The African diaspora or the Belgian that have Congolese origins or Congolese people living in that particular space found a way to challenge that narrative about colonization and also challenge the racism that they experience in Belgium.
King Philippe's letter says the wounds of the past are, quote, rekindled by the discrimination all too present in our society. Belgium's national parliament has already set up a Truth and Reconciliation Commission on the country's colonial history. For many, it's a small step in the right direction. Nadeem Barber, Al Jazeera.
In spite of coronavirus restriction, thousands of Sudanese have come out to correct the parts of the revolution, calling on the government to complete implementing the goals set a year ago. Tuesday demonstration come in a one-year anniversary of demonstrations last year, while some Sudanese felt the government is falling short. Others are willing to support the government while it deals with the challenging situation in the country. Jazila Habib Manga reports from Khartoum, Sudan.
Despite the pandemic and coronavirus state of health emergency, hundreds of thousands poured onto Sudan's streets, from the capital to the various states and to those stuck in displacement camps because of years of conflict, all demanding the transitional government steps up to complete the goals of the revolution.
We want the transitional government to deliver on justice for the lives lost. These are not protests against the government, we're supporting the government, but we want the government to show us that the revolution was not in vain.
I think it's about time for the central government to collapse. I think it's about time we actually make move toward making peace until toward our brothers in Darfur, our brothers in Nil al-Azraq. So, and we just only freedom, peace and justice.
In some places, police fired tear gas to prevent protesters from breaching security cordons. Tuesday's protests were on the first anniversary of demonstrations last year. They pressured the Transitional Military Council to negotiate with protest leaders. Weeks after the killing of dozens at a pro-democracy sit-in in Khartoum shattered hopes for a deal. A power-sharing agreement was signed in August, but nearly a year on, many of its conditions still aren't implemented. Sudan is still without a transitional legislative assembly, and nearly all governors are military governors, contrary to the power-sharing agreement. Tuesday's protests haven't been backed by all the members of the ruling coalition known as the Forces of Freedom and Change. Some voiced support, while others deemed it unnecessary, especially because of the coronavirus pandemic. The protests happened the day after members of the former ruling party were arrested. They're accused of planning to sabotage the anniversary protests. June 30th is also the anniversary of the former ruling party coming to power 31 years ago. Hours before the protests, Sudan's Prime Minister, who's yet to complete a year in office, addressed the nation.
In the coming days you will hear decisive decisions, some of which will have a deep political and economic impact.
Some sides will try to take advantage to create instability. I urge you to take caution. We will get through this period and we will prevail through our unity and our hold on the goals of the revolution.
For large numbers of Sudanese, the transitional government is falling short of delivering the demands of the revolution, which toppled longtime President Omar al-Bashir. But many here say they'll continue to back the government as it faces many challenges. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Leaders from the G5 Sahel countries and France President Emmanuel Macron have met in Mauritania to discuss how to reduce attacks in the region. Leaders from the G5 Sahel country and France President Emmanuel Macron has met in Mauritania to discuss how to reduce attacks in the region. In Mali, the political situation has worsened and calls for the president to resign. Al Jazeera Nicola Hakoud reports.
France is calling on the Sahel countries to step in and make good on what it views as recent military success. Early in June, French forces killed Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb leader Abdelmalek Drukdel. President Macron wants to see the return of state authorities in places they have cleared from armed groups.
France will be there as long as it is desired and requested by the Sahel states themselves, and for as long as they consider that their sovereignty and security of their people are threatened. We will be there as long as we consider that efforts are being made by each of the armies of the G5 Sahel and that our role is therefore useful.
The new stated objective of the French-led Operation Barkhane is to destroy the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara and the border region of Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, along with the support of Sahel forces. But a UN investigation accuses soldiers from the Sahel countries of not only failing to protect civilians, but killing the people they are meant to protect. Add to that, allegations of corruption. An audit in Niger's defense spending reveals that over $120 million has gone missing from state coffers. Mali's President Keita is accused of spending state money for personal gain. He's facing a wave of protest led by the influential cleric Mahmoud Dicko. He tells Al Jazeera removing foreign troops alone is not the solution. It's the leadership that needs to go.
We're in a difficult situation. We have a state that's bankrupt. We can't go on without the help of the international community or allied nations.
Macron was joined by the Spanish, German and Italian prime ministers via video conference. For the French, security in Europe is contingent on stability in the Sahel. The Sahel desert is used to smuggle migrants and drugs. 500 special forces from European countries are expected to join operations in the region. With more troops on their way, France's intervention isn't ending anytime soon, nor is its special relationship with these leaders who are facing mounting criticism at home. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera.
Protest has erupted in Ethiopia after the police announced the killing of Hachalu, an ethnic Oromo musician known for his protest song. Thousands of fans followed the Hadarsa's coffin through the capital while protesting his killing. The police are investigating what happened to the musician. Al Jazeera Lurla Bardur reports.
Described as a musical icon in Ethiopia, Hachalu Hundeza supported the struggle of the ethnic Oromo people. His music became the melody of protest movements that led to the downfall of Ethiopia's government in 2018. The Oromo are Ethiopia's largest ethnic group, but they've long complained about discrimination. Thousands of fans followed Hundesa's coffin through the capital while protesting his killing. He was shot dead while driving his car in the suburbs of Addis Ababa.
He is somebody that is seen as an icon by the 50+ million Oromos who live in Ethiopia and in the Horn of Africa. He is a kind of towering, really musical genius with an incalculable imaginative power, who had the rhetorical facility, the verbal invention, the poetic expression with which he, very ably articulated and insightfully identified some of the deeply entrenched and profoundly rooted problems that the Oromos have been facing throughout history.
Following the protests that turned violent after the shooting, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed called for calm. He tweeted his condolences about the singer, saying they've lost a precious life, and since the death of the young artist, he wishes for comfort for all of those in deep sorrow. But in an interview to a media network owned by a government critic, Hundessa last week criticised Ethiopia's leadership. The network is owned by Jawar Mohammed. The TV station says he was detained after his bodyguards faced off with federal police, but the spokesman for the federal police denies this.
A lot of critics are rising against the Prime Minister, the way he handled the transition, the way he was not willing to discuss with opposition, to have a genuine dialogue, as many were calling for it. But the icing on the cake came when he, as many refer to it unconstitutionally, had the Parliament and the upper house approve the extension of his time in office because of COVID.
34-year-old Hundessa spoke out about receiving death threats before his life was abruptly ended. Now, many Ethiopians say he'll be remembered as a revolutionary figure. Laura Burden-Manley, Al Jazeera.
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. Outgoing UK diplomat optimistic about Gambia's future. 2 returnees, one from US and other from Senegal, tested positive for COVID-19. More than 2,000 face masks have been donated to the Gambia's government. COVID-19 negatively affects businesses at the Amdalai border. In the international scene, King of Belgium expressed his regrets for colonial cruelty in Congo. Sudan protesters return to street to demand more reforms. Macron says new tactics shift the dynamic in Sahel's fight. That's all for this edition of the news. Please enjoy the rest of our programs and join us for tomorrow's news. Thank you for watching.